I gotta do is keep being a good person. No matter what, good things will come my way. Everything's gonna happen for me, just as long as I never have no in my heart.
Some shows don't need a celebrity narrator to introduce the show, but this show does. In a world filled with endless opportunities, why would two men who have built 13 multi-million-dollar businesses altruistically invest 5 hours per day to teach you the best practice business systems and moves that you can use? Because they believe in you, and they have a lot of time on their hands. They started from the bottom, now they're here. It's the Thrive Time Show, starring the former U.S. Small Business Administration's Entrepreneur of the Year, Clay Clark, and the entrepreneur trapped inside an optometrist's body, Dr. Robert Zillner. 2 men, 8 kids, co-created by 2 different women, 13 multi-million-dollar businesses.
We started from the bottom, now we're here. We started from the bottom, and we'll show you how to get here. Started from the bottom, now we're here. We started from the bottom, now we're here.
Mr. Clark started from the bottom, and now we're at the top, teaching you the systems to get what we got. Colton Dixon's on the hooks, I break down the books. The C's bringing some wisdom and the good looks. As the father of 5, that's why I'm alive. So if you see my wife and kids, please tell them hi. It's the CNC up on your radio, and now 3, 2, 1, here we go.
We started from the bottom, now we're here. We started from the bottom, and we'll show you how to get here. Started from the bottom, now we're here. We started from the bottom, now we're here. We started from the bottom, now we're here. We started from the bottom, and we'll show you how to get here.
Okay, on today's show, folks, we're talking today about the business mullet. And JT, before talking about it this morning off air a little bit, had you ever heard this concept?
Of the business mullet?
The business mullet.
I heard of the mullet, but not the business mullet.
James, have I ever talked to you about the business mullet?
I have not.
Oh, you're muted. Have I ever talked about the business mullet?
I have not heard about the business mullet.
Okay, and this is something that I developed probably, I don't know, 15 years ago I started talking about it. But what I found was when I was building my first brand, djconnection.com, brides would come in to meet with our disc jockeys. And what their first impression was our office or how we answered the phone. But they never came into the warehouse where we kept the equipment. James, pop quiz, why was that?
Because it was probably a little bit messy back there.
Why do you think I didn't call the brides to be and say, hey, come back into our studio, come backstage to our office, go back into the very back where we're maintaining equipment? Why didn't I do that, James?
There's no need for them to be back there.
Okay, but why did I make sure that everything that the customer saw was awesome?
Because you want them to think that when you go out there to do the wedding, that it's going to be as awesome or more awesome.
But what if we equally spent money on making the back half of the stuff the customer never saw look awesome? And so we only had a set number of dollars available. And what if we spent the money that we could be spending on wowing the customer up front? What if we spent that in the warehouse? What would happen?
Then you'd be losing money and you wouldn't be able to do as good of a job.
So I want to go back into the business mullet. This is some big stuff to know here. JT, with Make Your Dog Epic, we want to wow the customer. When the customer shows up, we want to wow the customer. We want to wow them. So Let's talk about how does that first interaction happen? If somebody goes to makeyourdogepic.com and they schedule their first 50-cent lesson, they probably saw you at a Tulsa Drillers game. They maybe found you on Google. They perhaps have read the reviews. But what's the first time you come in contact with the customer?
First time is when they fill out that form, we call them and we just go over all the things. So we figure out their dog, we figure out their goals a little bit, and then we tell them about us. And then we set up a time for our trainer to come out for that first lesson, which is just 50 cents.
And why do we care about making sure that the person who calls the people that fill out the form and Make Your Dog Epic, why do we focus on making sure that that person is well-trained, the calls are recorded for quality assurance, there's good energy? Why do we obsess on that?
First impressions might be the most important thing because the person's going to remember that phone call. So you have one chance. You put in all the work, all the time, all the effort, all the money, all the marketing to get somebody to call in or fill out that form. And if you and they're pumped because they typically what happens is somebody just went through something that made them want to get their dog trained.
Right.
Or they saw us with a ton of energy at an event. And so then if the person's answering the phone and they're like, hi, can I help you?
Right.
What's going on with your dog? Which is what people will default to.
Correct.
If you don't have a script, if you're not call recording, even if you have a script, but you don't record the calls, people will not stick to it. You have to keep them sticking to the script, and you must keep good energy. It's like having a secretary at a dentist office or somewhere where they just have low energy and they just seem like they hate their life the whole time.
Right.
You cannot drag people down with you. What I love about one of my favorite things is stories is, I think you were telling me about it, but Disney World, they have underground tunnels where if Mickey Mouse ever has to take a smoke break or anything, it's all underground because Mickey Mouse can't take the head off and smoke cigarettes in front of kids. Everything that the people do, they're all in character. So that's how it is to Make Your Dog Epic. If you are customer facing, you have to be in character. Every single person in all of life is going through something, and you can't bring your doom and gloom and push it off on this customer who just saw us at an event,
Right.
super excited to see their dog get trained. So if you don't have call recording or you don't have scripts, they will do that. They'll just be super mopey and dopey the whole time.
Now, let me just show an example here. Back to my company I was building back in the day, DJ Connection. When the Tulsa World called me and said, we want to interview you. Congratulations. You won the Entrepreneur of the Year award. James, I was 20 years old. What is this red item in the top right in this picture?
It looks like a cooler.
Yeah. And where was this photo taken?
It looks like in the back of a warehouse.
Well, this was my apartment. I didn't have an office.
Oh.
So I had the largest DJ entertainment company in Tulsa, and I didn't have an office. And so they were like, hey, we want to come interview you. And I said, okay. Because I met every single customer at Panera Bread up to that point. And they said, well, where's your office? I said, my address is yada, yada. And they said, okay. Is that an office building? Or I said, and then they showed up, all the camera people, and they were going, you're in an apartment? And the camera guy's like, I don't know how I'm going to take a photo of that. And I said, why don't you just organize it over here so you see a bunch of maybe screens and computers and stuff in the background so it looks like an office? Why don't you do that? And he says, yeah, let's go with that. But I mean, the thing is, it was massively profitable. And the reason why is I wasn't paying for a very expensive office. And I wasn't wasting money on things the customer doesn't see. So we go back to Make Your Dog Epic. So we have that first initial phone call, that first initial phone conversation. On that conversation, we're going to let the customer know your first dog training lesson is just 50 cents. We're going to let you know that we'll beat anybody's price. We're going to let you know it's a money back guarantee. We're going to let you know that we transform the dog's behavior without changing their personality. We're going to let you know if you book with us, you have a chance to win a dream vacation to Hawaii just by booking with us. JT, there's a certain energy behind it. People are ready to go. But then the next thing, the next step. So a guy like James, let's say James called in, he schedules an appointment with your team to train his dog. What's the next interaction that you will have?
So that next step is when we actually go out and we see the customer. And then that's all scripted as well. So we're coming to the house or meeting them at the park, or if they're outside of the driving range, they meet us at our facility. But that's scripted as well. So little stuff like where you park the car, how you walk in. You don't walk across the grass. You walk on the sidewalk, because some people really care about their grass, and you walk on the sidewalk. It takes 2 extra seconds.
Right.
And so you do that. You meet them. You're intentional about where you sit to talk to them. And you're just wowing them the entire time. And
So the money we could spend on an office, you're spending on gas.
Correct.
To drive to meet the customer.
Yep. You're spending on gas. You have a vehicle to drive and meet the customer, to meet them. And you're spending money on like vehicle wraps and stuff like that, because if you get one lead from that, it pays for the wrap.
Now, JT, as we grew the business, this was my backyard.
I love that.
So I turned my backyard.
Look at those vans.
Yeah.
Is that spray paint?
I hand painted it.
Oh, did you really?
With a paint called One Shot Enamel. So it's one shot paint enamel.
I haven't seen this picture yet.
Really. And I painted it
Yeah.
all myself. Yes, this is one shot. I painted every vehicle, hand painted it myself.
That's great.
I got quoted like $4 grand to auto ramp, and I'm like, I'm gonna auto ramp that thing.
I'll do it myself.
I painted it myself. Is that great? Yeah. So there you are. So there's and then the equipment was starting to get shipped in. This is the equipment. I'm just getting crazy amounts of gear getting shipped in.
Yeah.
And people would still call the number. I'd still get calls, you know. There's more equipment. And Josh was one of our employees at the time. And I was buying insane amounts of equipment. I mean, every week I was shipping in huge amounts of stuff.
Yeah.
But again, James, why was I buying like first class lighting and sound equipment and not investing at all in my office?
Because it allowed you to grow the business and get more customers, and you didn't waste any money.
But why do people spend all their money on back office stuff that nobody sees? See, this is why I see everybody gets a Yeti cup with the brand logo on it. Yeah.
They do it because, you know what? They need a checkup from the neck up, and they haven't gotten it yet.
You know what I'm talking about, though.
Yeah.
I see a lot. Everyone's got corporate swag, but no sales. JT, have you ever seen this?
Yeah. Or they have massive offices, and each person, because some reason they need to spend all their time taking photos of their team, having super nice portfolios for each team member.
Yep.
Which who probably won't be there that long.
Right.
And then they have massive offices that are all super nice and fancy, and they have cubicles. However, customers never visit the office.
Right.
So you're spending all this money. I get it. If customers are visiting the office, it should be awesome.
Right.
But if they're not going to visit the office, why does your people need to feel like they're working in Dubai or something? It's crazy.
Thus the mullet. This is what I'm saying. It's formal in the front, party in the back. And I don't advise that as a haircut, but let's continue. So this right here is Josh. And he's like, let me get another photo because there's so much equipment coming in. These are all lights. I mean, this is like a $500 light, $500 light. I mean, there's like just thousands of dollars of equipment coming in. And again, the momentum, I was able to grow so fast because I kept my overhead so low. So I'm just buying insane amounts of equipment every day, shipping in more and more equipment. So we're at the Bixby Blues Festival. Sean Copeland, who owns Regent Bank, he calls me and says, can you guys provide the sound for the Bixby Blues and Barbecue Fest? James, do you think that I had the equipment needed to run the sound for the Bixby Blues and Barbecue Festival when he asked me to do it?
No way. But I know that you told him, yes, we sure can.
And I bought all the equipment and I paid cash. Why? Because I believe in the idea of formal in the front, party in the back. Now, somebody says, I need to see more proof. Okay, that's fine. So we go to 101st and Memorial. I'm sure somebody else who's not me lives there now. But this is where we're at. This is the office. This is the second office. This is where we were, 101st and Memorial. You go here, there's a Starbucks-ish over here. Go right here, 101st and Memorial. So Memorial this is 101st. So we got 111th going down, 111th. And, oh, yeah, here we go. So we're dropping in. So this, right, almost there.
Feeling it. I feel like we're getting close.
Almost there. I think we're right. Somehow, Silverwood. Let me see real quick. I gotta send in my man. Drop it in the man. And again, I just don't think most people think about this. So they think about, man, I have a business, therefore I need to spend money on Yetis. Everything in the office needs to be branded, stuff that customer will never see.
Yeah.
Everything has to be brand. What are you doing? Especially if you're a startup. Now, if you've been around a while, you're having a lot of success. I mean, if you want to invest a bunch of money in a wall wrap so you feel good about you, go for it. But when you're starting out, it doesn't matter. So here was the office right here. Boop. And my wife, I remember she came home one day. She said, what are you doing? I said, I'm painting. I'm having the concrete company come in to concrete the whole backyard. And she was like, the whole backyard? Well, yeah, the whole backyard. This was to cover the whole thing, every inch of it with, concrete. She goes, why don't you just stop at a certain point? And I said, okay. So we concreted this whole thing in, and inside I converted this all into shelves. So around the perimeter, it's all shelves. And then I turned the attic. I had paid someone to do it. So it was, air conditioned, but the whole attic was the office. So you go upstairs in this largely one-story house, you go upstairs in the attic. If you stood up, you'd hit your head on stuff because your desk was like,
I am not shocked that you wanted to just concrete the whole backyard.
The whole thing.
Because it's just fully functional.
Right. And then right here, these trees I planted, because you have HOA rules, and so I plant all these trees so neighbors would quit asking me what I'm doing. I wish I could see it's a better view in the spring, but I planted all these trees right here.
Yeah.
Like a forest. So that way no one would ask me why I got all these DJ vans back here. See, I got vans back up in here, and I would park on a typical weekend, usually like 6 vans back there. Because you'd pull in, you'd park your van here.
Oh, back
park
on
your
the
van.
grass?
Oh, yeah. And then this fence right here I put in. This fence is like as high as you can go. It's like a 10-footer. So I mean,
so people would stop asking.
yeah. Yeah, and so I'm buying all this equipment. This was Catez, one of our disc jockeys back in the day. Crawfish boil, and we're just buying up copious. This is Doug. He owns his own fitness gym here in Tulsa Hills. Here, he owns his own fitness gym today. It's Doug. But see, this is all the equipment. All the equipment was on these shelves, and I built these shelves using wood. James, why did I build these shelves using wood?
Because you could do it for pennies on the dollar compared to going to anywhere and buying shelves.
Right. And so this is the stuff people would see, though. So this was at a wedding venue in Texas, and people would see nice equipment, nice gear, nice mics. But again, the concept is if you're a customer right now and you want to become a Make Your Dog Epic customer, we will make sure that what you see is awesome. So we move through the workflow. Step one, somebody goes to the website. They see that. Step two, the team member calls them or emails them, gets in touch with them, books an appointment. They see that. Third, now they're meeting with the person face to face. Now we're going to take the dog. Now some people want us to train their dog, take the dog away from them, JT.
Yep.
And bring it to our facility.
Yeah, they want us to do all the homework for them, which is actually, it's a super common way of training it. But we bring the dog to us. We have it for 1, 2, or 3 weeks, depending on where they want to get their dog. And then we bring back to them a trained dog.
And we're going to train your dog in a safe environment, but we want to put the energy and the money and the time into making sure that everything that you see as a customer is first class and that your dog is in a climate-controlled environment. Why is that so important, JT, that we're spending money on making sure that the dogs are in a climate-controlled environment rather than rolling around, our business with I'm telling you, I see businesses all the time. They spend all this money on swag that's like not related. So they've got this corporate office that's swagged out, but yet they may be training the dog in a heated environment where there's not air conditioning.
Yeah, or they're spending money on things that don't like matter. So like they have like branded poop bags or gold-plated poop bags or things that don't matter, labeled shovels, or they have somebody etch their name into leashes that you can't even see, and they just are spending money on things that don't matter. So we put the money where it matters. So when your dog's staying with us, it's very important that the dog is in a great environment, that's air conditioning,
Yep.
That someone's there 24/7, around the clock, someone's on property. We're always there, and we want to spend money where it matters. So what the customer sees and where the dog's staying in our facility.
We go back to this again, James. I would show up. I'm 22 years old at this point, maybe 23. And they go, man, your microphone is awesome. Man, your equipment is first class. You've got the good stuff. But I had a hand-painted van, which I always parked behind the venue. James, why did I spend like $2,000 on every van? I'm not kidding. I always spent a maximum of $2,000. I had a guy who his company was called Aero Automotive in Catoosa. His name was Russ. And I said, Russ, if you ever have a vehicle that's $2,000 or less, I'm in. Why would I spend $2,000 on my vans, James?
Well, it's the same reason why you wouldn't fly a helicopter to every event. You just don't need to waste money on it. And
Yep.
It allows you to spend that money on the best equipment that you could get your hands on.
So this is Vanessa and I DJing at a show back in the day. But again, these people here dancing at their wedding or whatever they're doing. This is David Brown right here in this photo. David Brown was the head of Guitar Center for all of Texas. And I was his biggest guy. I would go in there and he would go, I'd call him up, David, I got to buy 6 new sets of equipment, which means sound, lights, audio, visual, amplifiers, cords, cables. So I'm buying like $100,000 of gear at a time. And he's like, cool, man. And over time, he says, you're like the biggest buyer I've ever had. Like I've never seen a disc jockey that's coming in buying $100,000 of crap at one time. I've never seen it. How do you do it? I said, I have no expenses at all. Seriously, outside of paying the disc jockey. Now I put the money in the payment of the DJs. So I told the DJs, if you DJ a wedding, this is David Brown and his wife there. I said, if you DJ that wedding, we're going to call the bride after the wedding on a recorded line. I'm going to say, how happy were you with the DJ on a scale of 1 to 10? And I tell the brides going into the wedding, the brides know this and my employees know this. So I tell the employees, if the bride gives you a number, anything less than an 8, you're not going to make a 30% commission for the show. So if we're DJing for that wedding and it's $600, you're making 30%. So you're making $200. This is back in like 2002. You're making $200 plus tips if the bride gives you a score of an 8, 9, or a 10. If she gives you anything under that, you're making 150. Why did I throw money at the situation, JT, and tell all the employees, I don't care how many shows you've DJ'd, you're getting paid this show, not based on how many years you've been with me, not based on your resume. I don't care what DJ company you used to work for. I don't care how many degrees you have and what your resume says, how you used to run sound for Disney or you used to be the DJ for the Mavericks or all the things I would hear. Why did I only pay the DJs based upon the review?
Because what they did in the past does not matter.
There it is.
What matters is the bride happy? Because she is going to go tell other people,
Yep.
and then you're going to get more business. So any certifications, any degrees, any experience, and any of that matters 0%. So like with the dog stuff, it matters 0%. I don't care if you train dogs before, because
Yep.
I'm going to train you because we train on our own system anyways. I don't care if you have certifications. I don't care how long you've been doing it. Or if an employee comes in, it's like teachers. They just wait because if they teach for a certain amount of time, then basically they can't get fired. They can do whatever they want. They can't get fired. And then they start doing a bad job.
Now, none of our listeners would ever do that. But I'll tell you, I know people, not our listeners, our listeners. Our listeners don't do that kind of. But I know people who have been teachers for a while. James, I know one from in a college setting. And she visits me. Yeah. And I said, a very generic sense here. I'm not going to say where I was. I said, aren't you a highly regarded professor? Person says, yes. And because of that, my teacher's assistant will be teaching all my classes this year. So I'm on personal time off right now. And I'm going, haven't you been like at everything? I mean, I keep seeing you everywhere. And their comment was, well, yeah, I mean, I've worked hard for 10 years. So the last couple of years, I don't really have to teach.
Yep.
I'm sure, James, you've never seen this kind of thing.
Dude, I have seen it, and it's horrible. You think that if someone's the best teacher ever, you're going to try to get as many students in front of them as possible, not just let the teacher just go and just do whatever.
Now, let me say this. I told my brides, I told the DJs, I told the guys, I told the employees, told the grooms. I said, hey, listen, you're only paying for that DJ's performance. It doesn't matter how long he's been with me or how much he says he's good. So when I book a DJ for you, just know you're paying them. We're paying them based upon their performance. And your wedding is the only wedding that matters. Even though we have 80 weddings this weekend, your wedding is the only thing that matters. So I want you as the bride, have a great time, but just know I'm going to call you afterwards. And your review is going to determine how I pay people. It's such a powerful thing. And again, Mullet, baby. Mullet. And people, all the employees were like, when are we going to get a real office? When are we going to get a real? I'm like, so this is us DJing at the Dresser Mansion. This is Carl DJing. And all the DJs would say, when are we going to get a real office? And I'm like, a real office? And they said, yeah, a real office. I said, a real office? Aren't we the largest DJ company in America? And they go, yeah. And I said, never. Because I didn't need to get a real office to impress those people. You know, I didn't need to. I just needed Carl to dress sharp. I needed people at house parties to have a good time. I needed people at house parties to have a good time. People at weddings to have a good time. I needed people Capel High School, we DJ'd their graduation. They were a big school back then. They did just random photos from over the years. But I needed the people at the events to have a good time. I didn't need to have the most lavish office possible, because even if I did have the most lavish event, here you go. So this was at the, back in the day, this is at the Holiday Inn. And the Holiday Inn, I can't remember this gentleman's name or her name, but they used to refer me every single wedding. Why is nobody else on the dance floor and the head of management and the head of sales on the dance floor together? I'll tell you why. Because when the parties were over, I would tell the staff, if you guys want to jam out for an extra half hour, I'm totally down. Or if any of you ever have a birthday party, I'll DJ it for free, up to 10 a year. Why would they refer me every wedding?
Because they want you to stay there and DJ and make the fun night last longer.
This lady, I'm sure she was infinitely wealthy, but I just remember telling her, I'll DJ for anybody in your family this year up to 10 events just because I want to wow you. And she was like, really? So I DJ'd for her cousins and her sisters and her brothers and her family, the reunions. Do you think they ever referred to anybody else?
Oh, of course.
No.
Ah.
No. They never did.
Right. And that's because I wow these people. This is who my audience is. It's the bride and groom and the people putting on the event. So in the dog training business, it's going to be the veterinarians. This is a crowd of people dancing, having a good time. This was our audience. So I need to make sure that these people are having a good time. I need to make sure that the people at the proms, at the weddings, at the events, they're having a great time. But it doesn't matter what it looks like in my office. I need to make sure that I remember these guys. This was at a Bank of America event. This is Bank of America back in the day. And like, this is the leadership team. And I'm like, hey, you guys just come up here and jam out. And they're like, but didn't we pay you to be here till midnight? I said, yeah, but let's stay till midnight tomorrow. Let's keep going. And do you think I got tipped?
Of course.
Yes. And JT, I think that nobody thinks that way. They think in terms of like, I'm going to have a fancy office and I'm going to swag out every possible thing that people don't see. And they spend zero time thinking about, is my actual customer wowed?
Yeah, and a huge concept here is if you over deliver, soon you will be overpaid. So in all ways you have to, so doing those things for free, it's like with the dog thing. I had a rescue call me and they're like, hey, we get a bunch of donations and when we foster dogs out, we pay for the training for the families.
Right.
And we're calling different ones. I was like, if you want, send me your hardest dog that you have that no other trainer can train. I will train it for free.
Right.
And why would I do that, James? Why would I offer to train their hardest dog for free that no other trainer can train?
So that you could show how good you are at your job.
Correct. And it's free. So then now they're wowed. And then after I do that, once I do a great job and I wow them and I over deliver, they will never refer anyone else.
I just talked to a mortgage guy this week. I'll be very vague, but I was in a legal meeting and I'm talking to the mortgage guy. The mortgage guy's a friend of mine, the legal meeting. It's the lawyer I've hired. And the mortgage guy is trying to sell my lawyer on a mortgage. And I call up my mortgage guy, like, just give him the best deal possible. Just, I know you make a commission. Just give him the lowest rate possible. Why? Because he's perhaps the most connected lawyer in the Midwest. Just get the deal. A little bit of pushback there. A little bit. Oh, I can only make $7,500 on the deal. So I'm like, just lower it, man. He gets the deal. Well, I'm telling you, folks, you got to get the deal. Watch it now. This was a graduation back in the day, Now, again, this event, I didn't get paid much on this event. This wasn't an event I made a lot of money on. This is, I didn't get paid a lot, but the thing was, I wanted to make sure that every event that I did, people were wowed and that people had a great time. I wanted to make sure that my mic was solid. The mic they saw was the SM55, the SH55 mic. I wanted to make sure our equipment was great. I wanted to make sure that our staff got paid well, but nobody cared about what it looked like. I mean, this was the Stillwater National Bank, a big event I did. They didn't know that I was officing out of my house. Yeah. Nor did they care. And I did that for years and years and years. And the only reason I ever got an office is at a certain point, my wife was like, hey, we've got Havana. And, I think it'd be great if her childhood didn't involve 80 men running around talking about DJing at all times.
In an apartment or wherever you were.
Yeah. And so we upgraded. I'm just giving people life advice here, giving you tips, giving you pro tips in a world where people are concerned about telling you what to do. I'm telling you this works. This is a system. This is a plan. So I told my wife, you know what we're going to do? Why don't we go from the house to a bigger house? Why don't we go to a bigger house? And that way the money we would be spending on a mortgage, why don't we spend that on the office? And let's get something that's nice that wows people. So this was the office. I don't own it anymore, but this was the office. And again, people would show up and they would say, wow. And JT, why did I invest money right away in planting trees? As soon as we moved in, I'm like, let's plant trees everywhere. Why was that? Hey, let's plant trees. I had a fleet of really crappy vans I would park over here. But why did I say, let's plant a bunch of trees? We could put all the DJ vans back here.
Yeah.
But why was I like, hey, let's plant trees right away. Let's put a gate up. Let's make this a place you pull in. There's a great gate, a lot of trees. Why did I do that?
Well, there's multiple reasons. One, just like at the old place, it's so people can't see in and they're not in your business all the time. But two, when people pull in, it's like an experience. So you have the trees on the side of you. You feel like you're secluded. You feel like you're in your own little place. You pull up. You're like, hey, we're here. And you're like, no worries. I opened the gate for you.
Yeah.
It feels like a whole experience. You have the whole thing nailed down.
And this is, again, I remember a guy who applied for me who ended up being a really good member of the team. It was about 3 years later. We were at a staff party and we were celebrating the success of the company and just for our annual party. And I said, if anybody wants to come up and share something encouraging, I know you guys tell me privately you like working here, but maybe it'd be fun to share what you like about it. This guy gets up and he's like, had a little bit to drink here, just a little bit. But I want you all to know, I just showed up at the house and I thought to myself, man, must be doing something right. So I straight up lied to you about researching you. I didn't know who you were, but I was like, well, okay, probably doing something right. And what's interesting is that's how most of the brides made their decision too.
Yeah.
So if you look at the way I built, this is our systems back in the day. Everything was very systematic. Everything's laid out. This is all the CDs, all the music and stuff. But it's, again, even the equipment itself, when you looked at this was our video editing office, which was at an apartment. You know why? Because it was $600 for a bungalow apartment in a nice neighborhood. So it's an apartment where it's one bedroom, one bedroom, one bathroom. So we edited there. That was our editing studio. Was an apartment. Why? Because it's cheap.
Yeah, it's cheap. That's phenomenal.
It's the move. And people were like, dude, your video team is incredible. I'm like, absolutely. But again, it's just a thing where like, the business, we were building this business. Let me see if I have any more. But we were building this, and it was getting to be a very large event. Like this weekend, we set a record. I'm sure it's blurry, but it was the first time we had done like 84 shows in a month at this point. I don't remember when this was, but I was focusing on goals and growing the business and focusing on what matters, not what doesn't matter. And I think a lot of people, that was the sign that said DJ World Headquarters, and people would pull up and they're like, this place is awesome, but I just think that if you're not careful, you start spending money on crap that doesn't matter. And there's a lot of crap that doesn't matter. James, when I think about our conferences even, right? Everyone gets a book.
Right.
Why do I give everyone a book at our conference?
So they feel good and they say, oh, wow, I could take this home later and I could learn even more, or I could follow through the book during the conference.
JT, why do you think I give people a book? I agree with what you just said, James. Why do I give them a book at the conference?
You give them a book. One, it adds value.
Yep.
Two, it has client testimonials in it of people who have succeeded through working with you. It's a free resource. It just adds value. And it's all the steps of what it takes to be successful in a business. And it's a thick book. So there's a lot of steps. And then you realize what you don't know.
Why do I let people have free lunch? All right, the lunch is included.
Over deliver. Again, you're over delivering, and you're helping. It's another thing you can add to the call script when you're calling people about the event. Is just another way to over deliver.
Why do we do helicopter rides, James? Helicopter rides.
It makes you feel important and welcomed.
And it's over delivering. So it's just so much fun because you're like, I came here to learn about business. Now I'm on a helicopter flying around.
Why is there a petting zoo?
Because you have no idea what's going on, and it just adds to the chaos, and it's awesome.
Yeah, I know. Well,
it's the same reason why you have the mariachi band.
Right.
Because it's just awesome. It's just so much value. You have flamethrowers at a bunch of the events.
Right.
You have the ice sculpture of F6.
Yep.
Which is the F6 goals: faith, family, finance, fitness, fun.
And you're going to see at this conference, I mean, we're going through it every morning. We're talking about it and we're just adding to it. So we're going to start adding in the mariachis and the helicopters and the food trucks and the ice sculptures and all of that stuff. You show up to a conference, I let you name your price for my business conferences. So some people say, I don't want to pay the $250 regular price. I can pay $50. They're wowed. And that unleashes what's called the law of reciprocity, which somebody should think about. That's a Napoleon Hill thing. So people, brides, this is real. This was Valerie. I remember Valerie, and this is her husband. He played for the Yankees. So he was a baseball player for the Yankees. And I remember after the wedding, Valerie sent me photos, and they sent me a note, and you're like, you were our favorite part of our wedding. Seriously. It was so great. And I'm not kidding. It was Mike. His name's Mike. That's Valerie. And they were like, you are our favorite part of the wedding. I can't even. And it was like, I knew they were going to say that because I was obsessed with every single wedding. You know what I mean? I mean, we had 80 weddings, but every one of them. I mean, it was like obsessive. But then what happens is you start to get referrals, recommendations. So many brides would do this. They would send me constant thank you letters. And that's what they would do. And it was just like, you got to get in your mindset. You got to get in your mind somehow in your mind. You've got to get to a place where you are obsessed with over delivering. Because if you don't focus on over delivering, if that's not the mindset you have, if you're focused on stuff that doesn't matter, you're going to lose. We go back to the mullet, making sure we're learning something here. Again, if you have a mullet out there, not hair advice, but the way it works is the lettuce in the front, the hair in the front, it's pretty tame, right?
Yep.
But in the back, what's going on there, JT?
It's a party in the back.
It's a party in the back. It's a party.
It's crazy.
Yeah. So I told my guys, I'm like, listen, we're going to train all day on you becoming great DJs. We're going to spend all our time focusing on that. Okay. I'm going to raise my voice. I'm going to bring enthusiasm. We're going to laugh. We're going to have a good time. This is not what I would recommend for anybody out there. This is pre-Christ. But the DJs that were afraid to be on the mic because they were terrified, they'd like mumble and freak out. I'd say, listen, I need you, because I'd line up 10 systems, 10 different disc jockey systems. I'd say, okay, everybody, we're going to learn how to DJ today. So step one, I want everyone to turn on your amplifier. System 1, system 2, system 3. And new people are like, oh, I don't know how to do it. Like that button right there. If you don't know how to do it, ask the person next to you. Okay, great. Step 2, we're all going to turn on the mic. And then guy 1, guy 2, guy 3, guy 4. I don't know how to do it. Ask the guy next to you. Great. Okay, now we're going to all turn on the speaker. Now we're going to all play Rapper's Delight by Sugar Hill Gang. You got 60 seconds to find it. Get ready. 60 seconds to find it. And we're just going. And we're moving, and it's a great energy. And I could get guys trained up in 15 hours because it was a system.
Yeah.
And I am literally with a megaphone going, come on, find the mic. What is wrong with you? Find the cable. You got it. Let's go. Just having a great time, and we'd always have a good time. And the guys told me it was like their favorite moments was training how to become a disc jockey. But that doesn't need to happen in front of the customer. So I wanted to have an environment where they could hang out. I said, you can wear shorts, you can wear a hoodie, you can wear whatever. It's not formal. But when you're in front of that customer, I want you in uniform. JT, why did I say I want you in uniform in front of that customer?
Because if not, people will wear crazy stuff.
Right. I want you wearing a tie. I want you wearing a sport coat. This is for weddings. A tie, a sport coat. You have to do it.
Yeah, because if not, they're going to show up in sweatpants, or they'll show up in athletic shorts.
Right.
Or they'll show up in booty shorts. I mean, people just wear crazy stuff.
They do. And it was, again, so building that business, it was all about the mullet. And so I never invested heavily in, office expense. It just wasn't something I cared about. I didn't invest in taking a photo of every new employee, adding them to the website, giving them their own separate title and their own separate email address and their own, you know what I'm talking about? Have you seen this before, JT? Have you seen this where every new employee, we'll get them an email address. Let's get them a headshot. Let's get them a business card. Let's get them
let's spend multiple $100 or $1,000 on each employee. We're going to make sure that they have a portfolio. We got a headshot.
Come on.
We're going to spend money on web developers to put their new photo on there. It's the third person we've switched out this week, but we're going to keep doing it.
Keep doing it.
They spend so much money. You have the plated name thing on the desk. You have their own office. It's just crazy. You can spend so much money on employees that will not truly appreciate that stuff. In the end, they will appreciate the environment and being paid well, but doing all the little stuff is pointless.
Now, I'll say this today. If you're listening today and you learned something, I think you probably did. If you learned something, I'd encourage you to share this show with a friend. Also, if you want to go right now to makeyourdogepic.com, if you're looking for a dog trainer you can trust, and I'm sure you are, go to makeyourdogepic.com, makeyourdogepic.com. If you want to attend our next in-person 2-day interactive business workshop, go to thrivetimeshow.com. Right now, we have just under 40 tickets remaining for that event. That event features Tim Tebow, the legendary football player, John Lee Dumas, the host of the award-winning massive podcast, eofire.com. Peter Taunton, one of the most successful franchise owners on the planet. He built Snap Fitness. Colton Dixon, pop music recording artist. Michael Levine. Sean Ryan, the author of The Carnivore Diet. They're all going to be there. You can always name your price for our events. And again, you can go to thrivetimeshow.com to learn more about that. And that's makeyourdogepic.com to learn more about that. And if you want to paint your own vehicle by hand, these are the 3 things you need. You need to have one-shot enamel and the brushes.
Okay.
The brushes. Okay. And James, this is like a single-use kind of thing. You're not going to, this is some heavy stuff. Now, and a lot of fumes. Okay. So second, you want to be in an environment where you got open environment. Like you could, you're not going to.
Don't do it indoors.
Don't do it. I did paint indoors. That's why I got pretty creative. Don't do that. Just get outside, or in a well-ventilated area. Okay. And the third is you want to get some music going. Because when you're hand painting a van, I mean, I had rules. I'll tell my wife, she's like, what are you doing? I said, I'm not coming in until I finish painting. She's like, you're going to paint for 16 consecutive hours? I'm like, oh yeah. I also can't feel my face, you know, but that was what I did because I wanted to paint a van a day. I didn't want to make it take a month. So,
Right.
but we've got to focus on the mullet. Focus on being formal in the front, party in the back. Make sure you wow your customers, because when your customers wow you, they will tell their family and friends about you. That's how it works. And then on part 2 of today's show, we're going to share back-to-back client success stories. I think we have 6 client success stories on today's show, including a home builder called Sky House, who's one of my favorite, wonderful clients, Jeff Pell. I want you to hear his story because he's a diligent doer who focuses on wowing his customers. Again, that's makeyourdogepic.com. Makeyourdogepic.com. That's the website. And without any further ado, let's end this thing with a boom. You ready?
Ready.
Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Boom. Mullet. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this story here today, I want to share with you a story. This gentleman on today's show, a longtime client, great person, he has grown his business.
Yeah, we're at 578.34% growth from 2019 to 2023.
Let me repeat that. Let me try again. So today's guest is a beautiful man, and I believe he's grown his business by what percentage, Sean?
578.34%.
It is impressive, and I don't know if it's more impressive it's him or it's the products he builds. He builds these incredible houses, and this guy is really decided to take his love of building high-end, beautiful homes. I mean, it's like art meets construction, and he's decided to turn his passion into a career, into a business, and we're super excited to have him on today's show. Again, this is the founder of SkyHouseCompany.com, the founder of SkyHouseCompany.com. Jeff Pell, welcome to the Thrive Time Show. How are you, sir?
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
So tell us right now, with your business, I'm going to pull up your website just so our listeners can know you're not a hologram here. What kind of things do you build at SkyHouseCompany.com?
Can you hear us, Jeff?
Did I lose you?
Broke up on me a little bit there.
Oh, sure. Well, what kind of things for the listeners out there that maybe don't know who you are or what you do? What kind of products do you build?
We build one-of-a-kind houses that typically involve architects and interior designers for clients that really want to be intentional with pretty much every nook and cranny of their house. And we typically build that type of house on the side of mountains with long-range views.
Wow. And so this house here, you just built this house on the side of a mountain. Let me pull this up real quick here. Can you tell our listeners as we get prepared to play this clip here, tell us about this house once the clip comes up, and tell us kind of the work that went into it, and just kind of walk us through this project.
Yeah, this was a pretty neat project. It had an existing house on the lot, and it basically, you'll see here in a second, it drops off to a sheer cliff that overlooks the Blue Ridge Mountains and the gorge that's hundreds of miles away. You can see Charlotte on clear nights. So it was a challenging, fun job site to fit everything in such tight quarters with getting building materials and all that around the house. But really cool house to try to work with the existing setbacks with the town, try to create and maximize the view, as well as they were interested in what we would call a generational home with the building materials, the building science behind it, the performance of the exterior materials, to where you have real low maintenance and durability, that this house could be handed down to the family for generations, and everybody can enjoy it, the quality of it, versus it's, a house getting handed down to the kids, and there's so much money involved in repairs and updates to it that they end up, getting rid of it.
Wow, this is a gorgeous project. Let's look at another one, because this is what you do. I mean, we talk here on the Thrive Time Show a lot of times about helping clients and helping them to grow their business, but I like to showcase the work you do, because You do incredible work here. Let's pull up this one here. This is a more of a 3D thing where I have to do kind of a 3D look there. So let me
There's
see if I
three
can go-
levels to it.
let me go
Yeah.
in here, and I'm in here exploring. I'm gonna go to the kitchen. We'll just start there. Tell us about this house here. What's this house, and where was this house originally constructed?
This house is up in a development in Eagles Nest where we do, it's kind of a booming development in the area, lots of construction going on. And this is for a local architect that it's that I have a special relationship with that is actually retiring in a month or two. So this will be one of his last projects that he will have done. So teamed up with that architect and the interior designer, and we're able to give these guys really a full package feel of a mountain retreat where kind of that rustic mountain design clashes with some contemporary modern elements. It still feels warm, and just has an overall great relaxing vibe.
Wow, this is just, I mean, incredible work you do there. And again, Jeff, for people who haven't been to your website, the website we've got here is skyhousecompany.com. Now, Sean, you've had the pleasure of working with Jeff here for quite a while. So, Jeff, how did you initially hear about us there, sir?
How did I hear about you guys? I believe Sean gave me a call. It might not have been Sean.
I think it was Kendall, actually. Kendall Pope. Yeah.
Really?
Shout out to Kendall Pope. Thank you.
Yeah,
That's great. That's great. So, and then we've had an opportunity to work with you for how many years now, sir?
what are we, 5
Yeah,
years,
5 in
6
April.
years?
5 in April,
Yeah.
actually. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
let's go through it. Again, because people say, I want to grow a business, we have a linear path we coach all of our clients through. The first thing, Jeff, was we really have to make sure that the brand is as good as the product that you deliver. Now, some companies reach out to us, I'd say about half, and they need help on the quality of the product and they need help on the brand. But ideally, you want to have a great product and a great brand. When you came to us, you already had a great product. You just needed to improve that brand. Tell us about the importance of having that new website and making sure that we have objective reviews from customers that actually, the sample videos, the sample walkthrough tours. How has having those sample videos and that enhanced website brand helped you?
Well, I think it's key to, it's a crucial leg in the foundation of growth and scaling. So the marketing side of it, when I was first starting out, it was just word of mouth referrals, and one happy customer to another. And the website, it's a marathon, and the sooner you get into that marathon race and start, the better. And we've now seen it as a machine, and that's where the real payoff is. And now we're kind of just adding to it consistently. It helps with the brand and the reputation of verifying your, to just the public audience that's searching for you, that trust factor, and then showcasing your work, and setting it up in a manner to where it's easily accessible for somebody to get an accurate insight into your company. It's been a game changer.
Now, Sean, I want to ask your comments on this real quick here. Years ago, I worked with an accountant. I've helped him grow his business by, nearly tenfold. And when I first met him, he had no website, but he had a pretty decent sized business. It was already a $2 million portfolio, but he had no website. And even when I was first onboarding him, I ran into a handful of people that said, Clay, do you recommend a good accountant? Do you have one you recommend? And I said, well, I use a company called CCK. However, just so you have options to compare, this is another brand we just started working with.
Mm-hmm.
So check out CCK and this other brand.
Mm-hmm.
And almost everyone that I referred to the quote unquote other brand
Mm-hmm.
called me back and said, they don't even have a website that makes sense. Why is that, Sean, that people won't even do business anymore if it's word of mouth, oftentimes, unless there's a great website?
Well, people they want to verify. I think there was a Forbes article you introduced me to it was actually written years ago that says that like 64% of people are they're trusting the online reviews more than the personal recommendation. So if my mom tells me use this plumber and I go and Google and I don't find that plumber, I'm probably going to go with whoever had the most reviews over mom's recommendation. And that's 64% of people. I think that article was like from 2014 or something. So it's been a while. That's still the case. And especially with Jeff, distinguishing clients is how he's the discerning and distinguishing clients. He says, we create exclusive homes. The type of person that's going to spend $1 million to $3 million on a home is going to do their research, and they're going to be looking at your competitors. And you've just got to make that first impression online with these people.
Now, Jeff, as we're walking you down the path, the first box is we want to establish the revenue goals for every client. You've clearly done that. 2, we want to know how much revenue you have to do to break even. You've clearly done that. Box 3, you got to figure out how many hours a week you're willing to work. Now, this might sound crazy if you're somebody out there that doesn't have a lot of leads, but in your case, you are now generating a lot of leads. Tell us about the importance of blocking out time for family and for business. Talk about that.
Oh, it's absolutely important, especially when you get married. I think since we even got linked together with the coaching, I've gotten married during that time. I have a 5.5-month-old. My first baby's 5.5 months old now. And it is crucial for that work-life balance, more now than ever. But I think, I tend to work, I'm more of the working side of the things of my work week, but that's early on. With the systems that we kind of create and work through over these years, it's giving more freedom back, because the machine, the systems and stuff are working a little bit more for me instead of me having to work it.
Now, this is big. There's somebody out there watching today's show, and you say, I thought the book of Genesis told us to work 6 days a week. Someone else is going, no, my college professor said, life balance, buddy, work 40 hours a week, buddy. Someone else says, no, I work 6 days a week. And there's people out there right now watching, they're debating this. I like to work. I'm not saying this to divide the room. I'm just saying it because this is how I view the world. I like to work 6 days a week. Years ago, I became friends with a lot of business guys, and I found out that most of us work 6 days a week. Some people want to work 5 days a week. Some people want to work 4 days a week. I know adults who are very successful that now work 3 or 4 hours a day. One of the most successful people I've ever met, literally, no exaggeration. He works 4 hours a day, but he blocks out time. So if you look at my schedule, folks, I'm just going to show you my schedule. Everybody out there, this is my schedule. This is what I'm doing. This is what I'm doing. This is where right now we're interviewing Jeff Pell. I'm not doing something else. Every hour of my day is blocked off. That's what I'm doing. You say, what are you doing when you're with your gaps then, buddy? Well, somebody canceled today, so I created a gap where I can follow up on things, but I block out time every week for what I'm doing. And that's what I do. And so it's so important to learn that concept of blocking out time. Now, Jeff, as we move through the system here, the next thing is you got to create a unique value proposition and a brand. I know you and Sean have worked together to develop sales materials and a one sheet. A one sheet. I'm not going to show your one sheet. I want to show some different examples, but I'm going to pull up the one sheet for a pool company we work with. This is a pool company in Tulsa. We worked with them since they were a startup. Now they're very successful. But this is their one sheet. And the one sheet is a clear comparison. And for this business, their model of making a one sheet is comparing what they do, Sierra Pools, versus their competition. That's how they do it. So their conversation is, hey, we do 0% long-term financing. We're family owned and operated. We do a free 3D design. We're the highest quality. And here's how we stack up to the competition. Other people want to have a different one sheet style. But Jeff, why does everybody need to have a one sheet?
Just create that quick, clear distinction between you and the others when somebody is in the market to make a decision to go with one company or the other.
It's so big. It's so big. Now, the online ads, this is something, Sean, and again, as we go through this path together, I find a lot of business owners, they get stuck right around here, box 6 marketing, because you go, look, I'm a home builder, man. I'm a doctor, man. I'm a dentist. I'm a lawyer. I don't have time to sit there and figure out the newest AdWords update. I don't have enough time to sit around and figure out the new retargeting pixel. I don't have time behind the scenes to update my website to meet the new requirements of the newest iPhone. I do not have time for that. I'm building houses. I'm seeing patients. I'd love to get your thoughts on this, Jeff, of the importance or the value of having a dedicated team led by Sean to make sure that those things are just sort of happening in the background for you.
Oh, I mean, it's paramount. You can't, it's absolutely a necessary part of our whole system and our marketing and everything. It's built into our core. It is something that happens like clockwork on the calendar, and it's a necessity. So somebody's saying, I don't have time for that, or you can make time to meet with, you can make an hour out of the day to meet with your coach and come up with a game plan and the strategies for all of that, marketing, targeting, all that stuff, and then you guys take it from there. But you do have to put in initial work.
Now I want to hammer
it's
it home because
worth it.
Sean's always bragging on you, and he's saying, "Hey, when I work with Jeff, what's great is that we have our weekly meeting and we knock stuff out." And so Sean's always saying that in the background. Sean, as we look at here, this next step, again, as we're going through the system, folks, everybody can follow along. You just go to thrivetimeshow.com /millionaire, and you can download the systems for free. You can look at the systems, but it's about implementing, Sean. It's not about just knowing the knowledge. I mean, you got to implement. So with Jeff, you guys have created a lead tracking. You've created a business, created business tracking. You've created implemented workflows.
Yeah.
You've created sales scripts.
Yep.
Call recording. Sean, what makes Jeff a good client to work with? Because what we do is very analogous to being a personal trainer, and ultimately the client has to show up.
Well, one thing is he does a good job keeping those things up to date. Jeff and I, we look at the scoreboard on a regular basis in our meeting, which would be our business tracking sheet. We're constantly using the lead tracking sheet. I mean, you're talking about people who are building a home over the course of 2 years, some of these people. So we've got a long lead time on some of these, and we've got to keep up with all those people. He does a great job when it comes to tracking. He's also pretty good at leveraging his team to be able to get things done. Many times I'll be working with a business owner and I'll tell them, hey, we need to get this done. They'll delegate it to somebody, but then they never follow up. Jeff follows up and he makes sure the stuff gets done, which is great. So we're able to keep progressing, even if he's not necessarily the person doing everything on his team. He's able to leverage his team well. And he's doing that using to-do list systems and checklists. That's kind of where we're at now in the process. Is we're a little bit later on where we're building all those systems and management.
Jeff, I don't know why I feel like I'm going to describe it this way, but I run into a lot of people that say, I don't need sales scripts. I don't know why I feel like they say it that way, but it's like, I don't need sales scripts. I don't need a one sheet. I'm too busy to build. Listen, buddy, I'm too busy building my business to take the time needed to block out an hour of power every week to meet with a coach and to build a linear workflow. I'm too busy. You say, why are you too busy? Because. So what would you say to somebody out there that is just feels like they're too busy working in the business to work on the business?
Well, I think first there's got to be some kind of nugget of an aha moment to realize that if they want something to change and they want to create that time, first they may just have to force it into place, whether they need to be more disciplined with their time management, tracking their time. I mean, that's what we did right out the gate. I didn't even to create my own schedule. Me and Clay Clark, it's like write down everything you do for 3 weeks, and then we bucket that in the high level, lower level, worker level management in the org chart of my business, which was me and a handful of people. And so it's I think you have to have an aha moment to see, okay, I can structure my time. I can get an hour here to see, and once you see the value of putting all this together, you're going to that time is going to hold its place, and you're not going to miss it, because you're going to see the value in it as you build it. And these people that may not understand it, I was even guilty of doing that in the front end on some of the systems. Or why do we have to have a script? I'm the salesman. Why do we have to have any system? Because I was doing it. Well, that's the whole reason we have to do it. If it's coming out of me and I'm recreating it every time, let's recreate it on paper, and then I'm easily now able to have somebody else take lead calls. There's a lead rapport sheet. It's qualifying the lead. I don't even see half the leads. It all gets tracked. And then the qualified leads get set and put into my calendar on specific days for an initial consultation. So,
yeah,
I think somebody has to see that value in order to get it. But if you get a little bit of it, I mean, it's a no-brainer.
Now, you said once you see the value in it, it's a no-brainer. That's why I'm kind of paraphrasing. Yeah. Could
Yeah.
you explain the value in it? Because I look at your business and I go, wow, this guy, Jeff, he's grown his business by 578%, 78.3%, 578.34%. I just talked to a guy on Saturday, Sean, who I've worked with for 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not trying to be competitive. I am kind of competitive. This guy's grown his business by like 18 times. Now, the reality is he started at a smaller number than where you're at today, Jeff, but he's grown by 18 times. You look at Shaw Homes, another home builder, they've grown by 10x. I mean, I can go on and on. I see the value in it all day. But how would you describe the value of having a coach helping you down the path?
Well, it's incredibly valuable because first of all, there's so many. It's a long linear process. You got the marketing side of it, you have the administrative side of it, you have the organizational understanding of what a company is, delegating tasks, and so it's a consistently growing process to revise and refine and scale a company, and I enjoy that. So it's very valuable to me. I also value the accountability of that from Sean, is that we are on a trajectory and we're moving forward, whether it be the marketing, whatever we're targeting to try to get done. Right now, it happens to be kind of high level checklists and systems that were built into our construction schedule, down to the nitty gritty of checks and balances and KPIs and all that good stuff. So I mean, it can go very detailed.
I'm going to tell you a story about a home builder. I feel pretty good about this. The home builder, Jeff, he actually built my house. And we were talking offline one day, and I said, hey, you're like, in a not a gross way, like a Bob Ross kind of way, okay? You are loving on my house, bro. No, I mean, you are into it. I mean, I'm watching you bevel that stone. I mean, we could clearly move in a week ago, but no. You, Mr. Wiggs, you want to make my house perfect. I mean, you want to, I almost have to pull you off the job. You've already been paid, bro. And you're still wanting to keep going. I mean, this is like a Kaizen. Folks, look that up. Kaizen. This is a big idea. It's continual improvement. It's an Asian concept for many people that don't understand that philosophy. It's called Kaizen. Everyone should look it up right now. It's this philosophy of continual improvement. I said, bro, you are Kaizening on my lawn. Like, I want to move in my house, but you are Kaizening on my lawn. It's the Japanese concept of continual improvement. I mean, you are polishing it to the point of I am getting worried about what you're doing right now. It is incredible. I mean, he's walking around my lawn, like looking around like, I got to cut that, got to move. I mean, it's incredible. Yeah. And so I said, you should probably number the houses moving forward. Like every time you do a house, put the number of the house. Go ahead and engrave that somewhere, like as a stone. He goes, I like that idea. And he's been doing that. And people feel like they're buying like a signature house. And I am so fired up to help you grow your business because I know you actually care about the house and you put a pride in your work. You go into like Target, I'm not being disparaging about Target. You're going to Target though. You go to Target, come and go, USPS. You say, hey, do you know where the bathrooms are? They go, I don't know. Yeah, I just work here. I'm on break. You know that whole thing. But you go you go to Sky House, and Jeff, you have a passion for your customers. Talk to us about the passion for your customers because you really get into it. Which makes Sean get into it. I almost explode every time I get a chance to see one of your updated videos. They're so good. What's your passion?
Well, I mean, you hit the nail on the head when he doesn't want you to move in yet because he wants to bevel some of the stone and get it just tidied up and right. I mean, that's I look at our houses and look for any problems, and I think that they're cool houses, but I'm always like, okay, we can do better on the next one this way, whether it's the finished product or the efficiency of the finished product or the way we communicate on the finished product with the customer. I'm passionate about getting, growing and getting better and more refined. I mean, we have hit numbers where we were doubling our revenue for a couple of years, and we came to the point last year. It was like, look, we're at this point where we're probably at the size we're not going to, that'd be dangerous to just try to double to 16 million. So let's take this same workload, refine it, and that's where I'm passionate about putting forth my effort and gifts into projects with awesome homeowners and architects and designers that feel the same way. and really can appreciate that level of creativity meets durability and functionality.
In the final 5 minutes we have, I want to respect your time, but I have 3 more things I want to ask you. So I'm going to go rapid fire. So many people say I can't find good people, and Sean, I don't know why I want to say it this way. It's like I can't find good people. And it's that man. I don't know if they say it as much as I just feel this momentum of defeatism.
Yeah.
I just can't find good people. And I'm going, dude, I don't know where you're getting that sound. Am I hearing that? Are you hearing that? I mean, it's almost like a dog whistle that I can hear it, And but my clients don't have a hard time finding people.
Yeah.
My customers do not, my clients do not have a hard time finding the 160 brands we work with. They don't have a hard time finding people because they're always implementing the group interview process. And now you have a highly skilled workforce. You have to hire high skilled people to do what you do. Can you tell the business owners out there the importance of constantly never stopping that ongoing hiring process?
It's another one of those core implementations into the company that maybe I fought it even for a year.
At least a year.
And at least a year, maybe 2.
Yeah.
Maybe COVID came and I put my foot down and I was like, let's get going. I ended up having to move a group interview to the Home Builder Association because there was like 26 people coming. I felt like I was public speaking. And actually chose one person out of that group, and she still works here today, and she's killing it. So it's absolutely, what it does, it gives you first of all, you get into the hang of it. I do them Wednesdays at 5 o'clock or Thursdays at 5 o'clock for 2 different positions. They don't show up, go about my day. And they're group interviews, and I'm not in the need to hire, but I'm always going to hire if it's an A player or the right fit. A players have jobs. They probably maybe having a crappy week and hate their boss, and they're going to go look for other stuff. So I want to get in front of those people. And I also don't want to be put in a position where I feel like I'm forced to hire somebody that my gut doesn't tell me will be a great fit that will help become a pillar of my company. So it's great for you to be able to stay true to your culture and your cores while growing the business. It's not the funnest thing to do every single week, every year, all year round, but it's not that big of a deal either. And if you create a system in place, you can hire somebody, you can have a checklist in place that they do it all. And all you do is show up at 5 o'clock for the interview, and they let you know if they canceled or not. So that's what I do now. And it's all tracked.
Now, the final question I have for you, that we have for you here, and again, it's a little bit of a long form windup, but this is, Sean, a lot of people say, well, what's the most important part of business coaching? Is it the marketing? I go, did you say man? Is it the accounting? Hiring? And they go, I just need accounting. I just need checklist. I need human resources. I don't want your feedback on hiring, buddy. I just want to do marketing. I don't want to do, and they view like growth as one particular thing.
Yeah.
So it's like, what's the most important ingredient that goes into the cookie? Is it the milk? Is it the eggs? Is it the sugar? What's the most important ingredient? What's the most important part of the car? Is it the wheels? Is it the transmission? Is it the steering wheel? Is it the gas? Is it so the idea is that it's all of it. It's implementing all of it. It's working on the business, not in the business. What would you say to anybody watching this video right now? They're thinking about paying our monthly flat coaching fee, but to do that, they have to schedule a 13-point assessment first. It's free. What do you say to somebody out there that's watching right now, maybe in the same shoes that you were in years ago? What do you say to someone thinking about scheduling that 13-point assessment?
First, I would have them ask themselves this question: do they really want to be a business owner, or do they just not want to work for somebody else? Do they want to have the lifestyle of an employee with the label of a business owner? Because I think there's a mistake there sometimes. But if somebody really wants to create a brand and has a long-term vision and sees something out in the far future that's just not there yet, sign up, because it is total encompassing. It's not marketing. It's not, different businesses that you guys coach probably have weeks and strengths weaknesses and strengths, and one might be accounting, one might be marketing, but it's the totality of it. It's the org chart. It's understanding every nut and bolt that works into your business that makes your business thrive or operate. Is and so I don't know if somebody thinks that they just need marketing. Maybe they need to feel a little bit more pain out on their own trying to start something out. And then maybe they'll call you guys back later. But I'd say pick up the phone, give you guys a call, and just get fully committed to doing something without questioning it too much, because it's proven systems, and it's still tailored to any business. You guys coach, you just mentioned accountants, pool guys. I'm a builder. You guys do all kind, and business is business.
Well, brother, I can't wait to see you again in person. Maybe we'll see an in-person workshop coming up here soon. Have you ever asked this guy about the Tebow conference?
I think I've asked him like maybe 12 times now.
No, it's not about asking. We're going to send a small team to abduct you.
There we go.
And they're going to bring you over to the conference featuring Tim Tebow. But I really do appreciate your time, sir. It's great connecting with you again. Sean speaks nothing but very highly about you, and he's really excited about your growth. I am too. And again, thank you for carving out time for us.
Absolutely. You guys have a great one.
Hey,
take care.
Thank you, Jeff. Talk to you later.
Bye-bye.
Some shows don't need a celebrity narrator to introduce the show, but this show does. In a world filled with endless opportunities, why would two men who have built 13 multi-million-dollar businesses altruistically invest 5 hours per day to teach you the best practice business systems and moves that you can use? Because they believe in you, and they have a lot of time on their hands. They started from the bottom, now they're here. It's the Thrive Time Show, starring the former U.S. Small Business Administration's Entrepreneur of the Year, Clay Clark, and the entrepreneur trapped inside an optometrist's body, Dr. Robert Zillner. 2 men, 8 kids, co-created by 2 different women, 13 multi-million-dollar businesses.
We started from the bottom, now we here. We started from the bottom and we'll show you how to get here. Started from the bottom, now we here. We started from the bottom, now we here.
Started from the bottom, now we're at the top. Teaching you the systems to get what we got. Colton Dixon's on the hooks, I break down the books. Z's bringing some wisdom and the good looks. As the father of 5, that's why I'm alive. So if you see my wife and kids, please tell them hi. It's the CNC up on your radio. And now 3, 2, 1, here we go.
We started from the bottom, now we here. We started from the bottom and we'll show you how to get here. Started from the bottom, now we here. We started from the bottom, now we here. We started from the bottom, now we here.
My name is Jennifer Sundahl, and I'm originally from Oregon, but now I work as a home builder with my business partner, Frank Winkley, in Branson, Missouri with Winkley Home Builders. I have been in the home building business with my business partner, Frank, for a few years now. We originally learned about the Builders Training Academy when we attended a Thrive Time conference in Oklahoma. We thought it would just be a couple days, learn a few tips, but it's evolved into so much more. When we came to the in-person workshop, we learned a tremendous amount. For me, it really helped me recognize that you weren't just going to come and learn about how to run a business, you were also learning about how to work on your business. And it also challenged me as to how much time would be devoted to that each week, because they're both equally important to grow a business. So that was a new concept for me. And then we just learned so much about marketing and the website and the SEO and so many things that I recognized as 2 entrepreneurs starting a business that we were going to need some help with. The weekly coaching meetings with Aaron are like nothing else I've ever experienced. And it took a while to kind of get in the groove. But these are working meetings. These are not meetings where you take a piece of paper and you write some notes down and then you say you're going to do something and then you come back and it's not done. Boom. No, the computer is on, the agenda is live, and you are producing things in the meeting. It's probably the most productive 60 minutes that you would have during your week, because it's all about accountability too. There's no room for whining and there's no room for excuses. So if that is your go-to, this would not be a good fit for you. But if you're ready to see your business explode, then this would be a perfect fit for you. I would describe Aaron's presentation and coaching style as phenomenal. He has this incredible balance of being genuinely encouraging and sincere and full of wisdom, while at the same time pushing you to this brink of where you think you can't do something, but along with his encouragement and then the proper tools and the training and the resources and the websites and the suggestions from, other experiences that he's done with his company and other clients, it all comes together. And I just have to mention, like in one of our last phone calls, when we talked about one of our big wins, it was that we are exploding like a volcano with leads right now. And I have to say that is a direct connection, a direct positive result of Aaron's coaching style and what he brings to us each week. The biggest game changer that Aaron has helped us with, I think one is accountability. No one else is going to ask us about whether we tracked our leads or not. Aaron is very deliberate in making sure that we're progressing leads, that things are not getting stale. If things are getting left to the wayside, he helps us dig deeper to figure out what do we need to do different, or how can we manage the information? How can we delegate things within our company? And so I think that accountability each week has been a huge game changer for us. Aaron's coaching style has helped us differently than any other books or seminars that we've been to. Because, first of all, you're talking with a real life person each week. And he brings this depth of knowledge that once you talk about it, you're just like, oh, I should have thought of that. But he brings it to the table as a proper solution. It's not overly complicated, but it helps you move sort of to the next stage or the next level in a project. It's very sincere, exceptionally genuine, very encouraging, but he doesn't baby us. He is straightforward in a really healthy, balanced way. If you decide to not work with Aaron, you're going to miss out on an experience of a lifetime. You're going to miss out on the wisdom of a man who's worked decades within the industry, who can help you grow your business. You're going to miss out on expanding your business. You're going to miss out on the revenue that could be brought in, not necessarily by hiring a tremendous amount of new people, but instead just working a lot smarter within the industry. So if you choose not to work out with him, you're missing out on a lot.
Hello, I'm Wes Carter. I'm one of the shareholders at Winters and King. My favorite thing that Thrive has helped me accomplish here in our firm is thinking a little bit outside the box. They do SEO, they do printing, they help us with a lot of things from the day-to-day marketing for the firm, but they also help us think of things that as attorneys we probably wouldn't normally think of that help us market our services to our clients. One of the things I love about working with Thrive is that they make it enjoyable to actually do work with them. It's not dry, it's usually fun, but it's always very enjoyable and practical. They give me things and ideas that I can put into place. It's not just some theoretical spiel that they give me. We get practical steps that we work on together to do my job better. So me personally, I would easily recommend Thrive 15 services to my friends, my families. I recommend them to my clients. I think they do a good job. They're passionate. They care about their clients. And I think it's actually a valuable service they provide to people that are in the business world.
My name is Jeff Thomas. I'm originally from Atlanta, Georgia. It's all about getting to the grindstone. It is about putting it's one thing to have a specific vision or a dream, but knowledge without application isn't knowledge at all. That's nothing. Really funny. The atmosphere is very lively. Everybody that is working for Clay is very upbeat and not tired, not sluggish, not complaining, not whining. They don't have anything to do with those types of characteristics. It's all about getting to the grind and having fun while you do it. I haven't actually been to any conferences in the past, but what I will say from what I've seen on YouTube And what from other friends have told me is this isn't like a motivational kind of thing to just, hoo-hoo, rah-rah, get you motivated, but it's like practical steps that if you do take them, which most people aren't willing to do, then you will grow and you'll achieve the specific things that you want. Well, for one thing, I would say that this isn't necessarily for everyone. So if you're not willing to work, this isn't for you. But I will say that if you are willing to work and you're just getting started, but you have actually taken a step in that direction, then this will actually help you grow further exponentially than you could ever imagine.
My name is Taylor Hall. I'm the general manager of the Tulsa Oilers professional hockey team. Our goal every night here at the BOK Center is to try to fill the seats with lots of people and create an exciting environment so when somebody comes to a game, they want to come back. Working with Clay and the staff at Thrive, they've really helped us in many, many ways. Website and graphic design and video production and a lot of things that go along. And a lot of businesses, including ours, doesn't have a staff or a full-time videographer or graphic designer. But the biggest thing that we noticed was the needle mover. More sales, more attendance, more successes in business. We had a record year last season working with Clay for the first time. Our average attendance is higher than it's ever been. So there was a lot of really cool things that we did, and they worked. That's the nice thing about working with Clay and the team over there. It's just not one person, you get the entire team. If you need video design and editing and production, they've got that. If you need graphic design, if you need some coaching, your salespeople and call scripts, PR, they offer all that. Clay was instrumental in helping guiding us and getting us on the right track so that we could really raise the bar and become ultra successful. So it's been an amazing experience for us.
My name is Caitlin. I own a tumbling gym called Justice Tumbling Company in Tulsa. Working with Clay is so helpful, just being diligent with everything and making sure we execute our goals and just really make things happen. It's fun, it's hype, it really gets you energized and going, it just makes you really want to work. To get the momentum going, to really just get that buzz, just really give you the energy to get up and make it happen.
I'm Bob Healy. I'm in the charcoal grilling industry, and the name of my business is Grill Blazer. How will I apply what I've learned so far into my business? I'm actually a client of Thrive 15, and I learn so much from what I'm learning at this conference and from my regular weekly attendance that it's helping me establish the business and get it off the ground. Clay's presentation style is just blatant disregard for what anybody wants. He just has fun. It's him. Everything that you see is authentically Clay. It's a great deal of fun. Everybody enjoys it. They know when they walk in, they think they're coming into a carnival, and frankly, they are.
I started a business because I couldn't work for anyone else. I do things my way. I do what I think is in the best interest of the patient. I don't answer to insurance companies. I don't answer to large corporate organizations. I answer to my patient, and that's it. My thought when I opened my clinic was I can do this all myself. I don't need additional outside help in many ways. I went to medical school. I can figure this out. But it was a very, very steep learning curve. Within the first 6 months of opening my clinic, I had a $63,000 embezzlement. I lost multiple employees. Clay helped us weather the storm of some of the things that are just a lot of people experience, especially in the medical world. He was instrumental in helping with the specific written business plan. He's been instrumental in hiring good quality employees, using the processes that he outlines for getting in good talent, which is extremely difficult. He helped me in securing the business loans. He helped me with web development and search engine optimization. We've been able to really keep a steady stream of clients coming in because they found us on the web. With everything that I encountered, everything that I experienced, I quickly learned it is worth every penny to have someone in your team that can walk you through and even avoid some of the pitfalls that are almost invariable in starting your own business. I'm Dr. Chad Edwards, and I own Revolution Health and Wellness Clinic.
JT, do you know what time it is?
4:10.
It's Tebow time in Tulsa, Jerusalem, baby. Tim Tebow is coming to Tulsa, Oklahoma, June 27th and 28th. We've been doing business conferences here since 2005. I've been hosting business conferences since 2005. What year were you born?
1995.
Dude, I've been hosting business conferences since you were 10 years old, but I've never had the two-time Heisman Award winning Tim Tebow come present. And a lot of people, have followed Tim Tebow's football career on the field and off the field. And off the field, the guy's been just as successful as he has been on the field. Now, the big question is, JT, how does he do it?
Well, they're going to have to come and find out because I don't know.
Well, I'm just saying, Tim Tebow's going to teach us how he organizes his day, how he organizes his life, how he's proactive with his faith, his family, his finances. He's going to walk us through his mindset that he brings into the gym, into business. It is going to be a blasty blast in Tulsa, Jerusalem. Also, this is the first Thrive Time Show event that we've had where we're going to have a man who has built a $100 million net worth.
Wow.
Who'll be presenting. Now, we've had a couple presenters that have had $1 billion net worth in some like real estate sort of things.
Yeah.
But this is the first time we've had a guy who's built a service business, and he's built over $100 million net worth in the service business. It's the yacht driving, multi-state living guru of franchising. Peter Taunton will be in the house. This is the founder of Snap Fitness, the guy behind 9 Round Boxing. He's going to be here in Tulsa, Jerusalem, Oklahoma, June 27th and 28th. JT, why should everybody want to hear what Peter Taunton has to say?
Oh, because he's incredible. He's just a fountain of knowledge. He is awesome. He has inspired me listening to him talk. And not only that, he also has, he practices what he teaches. So he's a real teacher. He's not a fake teacher like business school teachers. So you got to come learn from him.
Also, let me tell you this, folks. I don't want to get this wrong because if I get it wrong, someone's going to say, you screwed that up, buddy. So Michael Levine, this is Michael Levine. He's going to be coming. You say, who's Michael Levine? I don't want to get this wrong. This is the PR consultant of choice for Michael Jackson, for Prince, for Nike, for Charlton Heston, for Nancy Kerrigan, 34 Grammy Award winners, 43 New York Times bestselling authors he's represented, including pretty much everybody you know who's been a super celebrity. This is Michael Levine, a good friend of mine. He's going to come and talk to you about personal branding and the mindset needed to be super successful. The lineup will continue to grow. We have hit Christian recording artist Colton Dixon in the house. Now, people say, Colton Dixon's in the house? Yes, Colton Dixon's in the house. So if you like top 40 Christian music, Colton Dixon's going to be in the house performing. The lineup will continue to grow each and every day. We're going to add more and more speakers to this all-star lineup. But I encourage everybody out there today, get those tickets today. Go to thrivetimeshow.com. Again, that's thrivetimeshow.com. And some people might be saying, well, how do I do it? What do I do? How does it work? You just go to thrivetimeshow.com. Let's go there now. We're feeling the flow. We're going to thrivetimeshow.com. Again, you just go to thrivetimeshow.com. You click on the business conferences button, and you click on the request tickets button right there. The way I do our conferences is we tell people it's $250 to get a ticket.
Yep.
Or whatever price that you can afford. And the reason why I do that is I grew up without money. JT, you're in the process of building a super successful company. Did you start out with $1 million in the bank account?
No, I did not. Nope, did not get any loans, nothing like that. Did not get an inheritance from parents or anything like that. I had to work for it, and I'm super grateful. I came to a business conference. That's actually how I met you, met Peter Taunton. I met all these people.
So if you're out there today and you want to come to our workshop, again, you just got to go to thrivetimeshow.com. You might say, well, when's it going to be? June 27th and 28th. You might say, well, who's speaking? We already covered that. You might say, where's it going to be? It's going to be in Tulsa, Jerusalem, Oklahoma. And so it says Tulsa, Jerusalem. I'm really trying to rebrand Tulsa as Tulsa, Jerusalem, sort of like the Jerusalem of America. But if you type in Thrive Time Show and Jinx, you can get a sneak peek or a look at our office facility. This is what it looks like. This is where you're headed. It's going to be a blasty blast. You can look inside, see the facility. We're going to have hundreds of entrepreneurs here. It is going to be packed. Now, for this particular event, folks, the seating is always limited because my facility isn't a limitless convention center. You're coming to my actual home office, and so it's going to be packed. So when? June 27th and 28th. Who? You're going to come. Who? I'm talking to you. You can just get your tickets right now at thrivetimeshow.com. And again, You can name your price. We tell people it's $250 or whatever price you can afford. And we do have some select VIP tickets, which gives you an access to meet some of the speakers and those sorts of things. And those tickets are $500. It's a 2-day interactive business workshop, over 20 hours of business training. We're going to give you a copy of my newest book, The Millionaire's Guide to Becoming Sustainably Rich. You're going to leave with a workbook. You're going to leave with everything you need to know to start and grow a super successful company. It's practical, it's actionable, and it's Tebow time right here in Tulsa, Jerusalem. Get those tickets today at thrivetimeshow.com. Again, that's thrivetimeshow.com.
Hello, I'm Michael Levine, and I'm talking to you right now from the center of Hollywood, California, where I have represented over the last 35 years 58 Academy Award winners, 34 Grammy Award winners, 43 New York Times bestsellers. I've represented a lot of major stars, and I've worked with a lot of major companies. And I think I've learned a few things about what makes them work and what makes them not work. Now, why would a man living in Hollywood, California, in the beautiful sunny weather of LA, come to Tulsa? Because last year I did it, and it was damn exciting. Clay Clark has put together an exceptional presentation, really life-changing, and I'm looking forward to seeing you then. I'm Michael Levine. I'll see you in Tulsa.
James, did I tell you my good friend John Lee Dumas is also joining us at the in-person 2-day interactive Thrive Time Show business workshop? That Tim Tebow and that Michael Levine will be at. Have I told you this?
You have not told me that.
Oh, he's coming all the way from Puerto Rico. This is John Lee Dumas, the host of the chart-topping EOFire.com podcast. He's absolutely a living legend. This guy started a podcast after wrapping up his service in the United States military, and he started recording this podcast daily in his home, to the point where he started interviewing big-time folks like Gary Vaynerchuk, like Tony Robbins, and he just kept interviewing bigger and bigger names, putting out shows day after day. And now he is the legendary host of the EO Fire podcast, and he's traveling all the way from Puerto Rico to Tulsa, Oklahoma to attend the in-person June 27th and 28th Thrive Time Show 2-day interactive business workshop. If you're out there today, folks, you've ever wanted to grow a podcast, a broadcast, you want to improve your marketing, if you've ever wanted to improve your marketing, your branding, if you've ever wanted to increase your sales, you want to come to the 2-day interactive June 27th and 28th Thrive Time Show business workshop featuring Tim Tebow, Michael Levine, John Lee Dumas, and countless big-time super successful entrepreneurs. It's going to be life-changing. Get your tickets right now at thrivetimeshow.com. James, what website is that?
thrivetimeshow.com.
James, one more time with more enthusiasm.
thrivetimeshow.com.
Shot everything rides on tonight. Even if I got 3 strikes, I'ma go for it. This moment, we own it. I'm not to be played with because it could get dangerous. See these people I ride with. This moment, we own it.
Thrive Time Show 2-day interactive business workshops are the world's highest rated and most reviewed business workshops because we teach you what you need to know to grow.
You can learn the proven 13-point business systems that Dr. Zellner and I have used over and over to start and grow successful companies. I mean, we get into the specific steps on what you need to do to optimize your website. We're going to teach you how to fix your conversion rate. We're going to teach you how to do a social media marketing campaign that works. How do you raise capital? How do you get a small business loan? We teach you everything you need to know here during a 2-day, 15-hour workshop. It's all here for you. You work every day in your business, but for 2 days you can escape and work on your business and build these proven systems so now you can have a successful company that will produce both the time freedom and the financial freedom that you deserve. You're going to leave energized, motivated, but you're also going to leave empowered. The reason why I've built these workshops is because as an entrepreneur, I always wish that I had this. And because there wasn't anything like this, I would go to these motivational seminars, no money down, real estate, Ponzi scheme, get motivated seminars, and they would never teach me anything. It was like you went there and you paid for the big chocolate Easter bunny, but inside of it, it was a hollow nothingness. And I wanted the knowledge, and they're like, oh, but we'll teach you the knowledge after our next workshop. And
And the great thing is we have nothing to upsell. At every workshop, we teach you what you need to know. There's no one in the back of the room trying to sell you some next big get-rich-quick, walk-on-hot coals product. It's literally, we teach you the brass tacks, the specific stuff that you need to know to learn how to start and grow a business. And I encourage you to not believe what I'm saying, and I want you to Google the Z66 auto auction. I want you to Google elephant in the room. Look at Robert Zellner and Associates. Look them up and say, are they successful because they're geniuses, or are they successful because they have a proven system? When you do that research, you will discover that the same systems that we use in our own business can be used in your business. Come to Tulsa, book a ticket, and I guarantee you it's going to be the best business workshop ever, and we'll even give you your money back if you don't love it. We've built this facility for you, and we're excited to see you. And now you may be thinking, what does it actually cost to attend an in-person 2-day interactive Thrive Time Show business workshop? Well, good news. The tickets are $250 or whatever price that you can afford. What? Yes, they're $250 or whatever price you can afford. I grew up without money, and I know what it's like to live without money. So if you're out there today and you want to attend our in-person 2-day interactive business workshop, all you got to do is go to thrivetimeshow.com to request those tickets. And if you can't afford $250, we have scholarship pricing available to make it affordable for you.
I learned at the Academy, Kings Point in New York. Acta non verba. Watch what a person does, not what they say. Whoa.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Robert Kiyosaki, the Rich Dad Radio Show. Today I'm broadcasting from Phoenix, Arizona, not Scottsdale, Arizona. They're close, but they're completely different worlds. And we have a special guest today. Definition of intelligence is if you agree with me, you're intelligent. And so this gentleman is very intelligent. I've done this show before also, but very seldom do you find somebody who lines up on all counts. And it's a Mr. Clay Clark. He's a friend of a good friend, Eric Trump. But we're also talking about money, bricks, and how screwed up the world can get in a few and a half hour. So Clay Clark is a very intelligent man, and there's so many ways we could take this thing. But I thought, since you and Eric are close, Trump, what were you saying about what Trump can't, what Donald, who's my age, and I can say or cannot say?
First of all, I have to honor you, sir. I want to show you what I did to one of your books here. There's a guy by the name of Jeremy Thorne, who was my boss at the time. I was 19 years old, working at Faith Highway. I had a job at Applebee's, Target, and DirecTV. And he said, have you read this book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad? And I said, no. And my father, may he rest in peace, he didn't know these financial principles. So I started reading all of your books and really devouring your books. And I went from being an employee to self-employed to the business owner to the investor. And I owe a lot of that to you. And I just wanted to take a moment to tell you thank you so much for allowing me to achieve success. And then I'll tell you all about Eric Trump. But I just want to tell you thank you, sir, for changing my life.
But not only that, Clay, thank you, but you become an influencer. More than anything else, you've evolved into an influencer where your word has more and more power. So that's why I congratulate you on becoming. Because as you know, there's a lot of fake influencers out there too, or bad influencers.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm glad you and I agree so much, and thanks for reading my books.
Yeah.
That's the greatest thrill for me today. Not a thrill, but recognition is when people, young men especially, come up and say, I read your book, changed my life. I'm doing this, I'm doing this, I'm doing this.
I learned at the Academy, Kings Point in New York. Acta non verba. Watch what a person does, not what they say. Whoa.
Hey, I'm Ryan Wimpy. I'm originally from Tulsa, born and raised here. I went to a small private liberal arts college and got a degree in business. And I didn't learn anything like they're teaching here. I didn't learn linear workflows. I learned stuff that I'm not using, and I haven't been using for the last 9 years. So what they're teaching here is actually way better than what I got at business school. And I went what was actually ranked as a very good business school. The linear workflow for us and getting everything out on paper and documented is really important. Like we have workflows that are kind of all over the place, so having linear workflow and seeing that mapped out on multiple different boards is pretty awesome. That's really helpful for me. The atmosphere here is awesome. I definitely just stared at the walls figuring out how to make my facility look like this place. This place rocks. It's invigorating. The walls are super, it's just very cool. The atmosphere is cool. The people are nice. It's a pretty cool place to be. Very good learning atmosphere. I literally want to model it and steal everything that's here at this facility and basically create it just on our business side.
Once I saw what they were doing, I knew I had to get here at the conference. This is probably the best conference or seminar I've ever been to in over 30 years in business.
You're not bored. You're awake, alive the whole time. It's not pushy. They don't try to sell you a bunch of things.
I was looking to learn how to just get control of my life, my schedule, and just get control of the business.
Planning your time, breaking it all down, making time for the F6 in your life, and just really implementing it and sticking with the program.
It's really lively. They're pretty friendly, helpful, very welcoming.
I attended a conference a couple months back, and it was really the best business conference I've ever attended.
At the workshop, I learned a lot about time management, really prioritizing what's the most important.
Biggest takeaways are, you want to take a step-by-step approach to your business. Whether it's marketing, what are those 3 marketing tools that you want to use, to human resources.
Now, some of the most successful people and successful businesses in this town, their owners were here today because they wanted to know more from Clay, and I found that to be kind of fascinating.
The most valuable thing that I've learned is diligence, that businesses don't change overnight. It takes time and effort, and you got to go through the ups and downs of getting it to where you want to go.
He actually gives you the roadmap out. I was stuck, didn't know what to do, and he gave me the roadmap out step by step.
We've set up systems in the business that make my life much easier, allow me some time freedom.
Here you can ask any question you want. They guarantee it'll be answered.
This conference motivates me and also give me a lot of knowledge and tools.
It's up to you to do it. Everybody can do these things. There's stuff that everybody knows, but if you don't do it, nobody else can do it for you.
I can see the marketing working, and it's just an approach that makes sense.
Probably the most notable thing is just the income increase that we've had.
Everyone's super fun. It's super motivating. I've been here before, but I'm back again because it motivates me.
Your competition's going to come eventually, or try to pick up these tactics. So if you don't, somebody else will.
I'm Rachel with Tip Top Canine, and we just want to give a huge thank you to Clay and Vanessa Clark.
Hey guys, I'm Ryan with Tip Top Canine. Just want to say a big thank you to Thrive 15. Thank you to Make Your Life Epic. We love you guys, we appreciate you, and really just appreciate how far you've taken us.
This is our old house, right? This is where we used to live a few years ago. This is our old neighborhood. See? It's nice, right?
So this is my old van and our old school marketing, and this is our old team. And by team, I mean it's me and another guy.
This is our new house with our new neighborhood.
This is our new van with our new marketing, and this is our new team. We went from 4 to 14, and I took this beautiful photo. We worked with several different business coaches in the past, and they were all about helping Ryan sell better and just teaching sales, which is awesome, but Ryan is a really great salesman. So we didn't need that. We needed somebody to help us get everything that was in his head out into systems, into manuals and scripts, and actually build a team. So now that we have systems in place, we've gone from 1 to 10 locations in only a year.
In October 2016, we grossed 13 grand for the whole month. Right now it's 2018, the month of October. It's only the 22nd. We've already grossed a little over 50 grand for the whole month, and we still have time to go. We're just thankful for you, thankful for Thrive and your mentorship, and we're really thankful that you guys have helped us to grow a business that we run now instead of the business running us. Just thank you times 1,000.
So we really just want to thank you, Clay, and thank you, Vanessa, for everything you've done, everything you've helped us with. We love you guys.
If you decide to not attend the Thrive Time workshop, you're missing out on a great opportunity.
The atmosphere of Clay's office is very lively. You can feel the energy as soon as you walk through the door, and it really got me and my team very excited.
If you decide not to come, you're missing out on an opportunity to grow your business. Bottom line.
Love the environment. I love the way that Clay presents and teaches. It's a way that not only allows me to comprehend what's going on, but he explains it in a way to where it just makes sense.
The SEO optimization, branding, marketing. I've learned more in the last 2 days than I have the entire 4 years of college.
The most valuable thing that I've learned, marketing is key. Marketing is everything.
Making sure that you're branded accurately and clearly. How to grow a business using Google reviews, and then just how to optimize our name through our website also.
Helpful with a lot of marketing, search engine optimization, helping us really rank high in Google.
The biggest thing I needed to learn was how to build my foundation, how to systemize everything and optimize everything, build my SEO.
How to become more organized, more efficient.
How to make sure the business is really there to serve me as opposed to me constantly being there for the business.
New ways of advertising my business, as well as recruiting new employees.
Group interviews, number one. Before we felt like we were held hostage by our employees. Group interviews has completely eliminated that because you're able to really find the people that would really be the best fit.
Hands-on how to hire people, how to deal with human resources, a lot about marketing, and overall just how to structure the business, how it works for me, and also then how that can translate into working better for my clients.
The most valuable thing I've learned here is time management.
I like the 1 hour of doing your business is real critical if I'm going to grow and change.
Clay really teaches you how to navigate through those things and not only find freedom, but find your purpose in your business and find the purposes for all those other people that directly affect your business as well.
Everybody.
Everyone
Everyone needs to attend the conference because you get an opportunity to see that it's real.